inspired. This was inspired by God. And she started to giggle. And then she apologized for giggling. And she apologized to me 3 times since then, actually. She said, Mike, I have been a law professor for 25 years. I have never heard anyone mention God in a single class. In 25 years. You're in the right place right now. This is what we're supposed to be doing. We need to figure this out. We need to. The last thing I'll say is people. You probably hear it too. People say they're scared. Things are rough. The world's in commotion. Blah blah. You know, everybody's. And I always say, you know what? But these are the signs of the times, and we should have a grin because we know what's going on. This is what's supposed to be happening, right? Now it's our chance to just get on the right team and help everybody else get on the right team because we know what's happening. So, again, we are in the right place. I am thrilled to be with you. I love Eagle Forum. I love this country. I love this state. I've got 32 bills I want to cover real fast. I haven't done 32 years in 5 years total. I'm going to just hit a couple of things I'm working on. First one is, some of you may remember a couple of years ago I passed a bill about conscience protection to protect our state employees when they get tasked with doing something that violates their conscience. Because in our state constitution we have a phrase that says the rights of conscience shall never be infringed. Well, I happen to know it was being infringed. There were police officers. There were I had a gentleman from one of the universities reach out to me and said he was tasked with making a poster for Drag Queen Story Hour. He said, I'm quite uncomfortable doing that. I don't know what to do. And over the course of a few weeks, he was no longer employed. So I know that the rights of conscience are being infringed. So we passed a bill that said if you get tasked with doing something as a state employee, that they need to staff around you. It's likely there's somebody else who can do that very same poster, right? Well, now we have one that we're working on for this year. I've been working with Sutherland to do this. That says that as a student, if you get an assignment or a class that you have to take that violates your conscience, we have to work things out for that one too. It started because my wife Sally and I, we have a daughter who's just finishing her master's degree in social work. I tried to get her not to do that one. But anyway, she's finishing her master's degree in social work. And she said she got given an assignment. She had to write to her legislator. That's not good. She had to write to her legislator to advocate for LGBT rights. Yeah, crazy, huh? And I've talked to a couple of people who have the same experiences. So, like I said, I'm working with Sutherland saying we that can't happen. Kids shouldn't be given assignments that violate their conscience. It would have been fine if it was an assignment that said, write to your legislator, and advocate for something that supports you, but it shouldn't be something that violates your conscience, right? All right. So that's one that I'm doing that I think you'd be interested in. The next one is it's called restorative reproductive medicine. What this bill is aimed at giving couples options when they're having trouble, when they've been diagnosed with infertility. This gives them options to ensure that the insurance company provides medicine or medical treatments that are necessary, right? So that they don't have to go straight to, for example, IVF. They can also we'll make sure that their insurance companies will do the correct hormone panels and the correct diagnostic things that have to happen, so we can, so that couples, we want them to have children. So let's help them have children. Okay, the last thing I want to tell you about is HCR 4. So it's House Current Resolution 4, and it's titled Concurrent Resolution Regarding Religious Freedom. This one I've been working with Senator Stratton on. This is my favorite bill for the session, by the way. what this one is, this is a resolution that starts out, it talks about the history of religious freedom in America. And David did a great job reminding us of that. And how religious freedom is really, it's the bedrock of this country. Well, in the 60s or so, everything fell apart. All of a sudden, judges started saying separation of church and state means exactly the opposite of what Thomas Jefferson intended it to mean. Because he intended separation of church and state to mean government's going to stay out of the way of religion. Well, in the 60s, Lemon Law and stuff, or Lemon Test, they said, what it means is that the church is going to stay out of the public square. And it was just such a mistake. So what we do is we tell the history of religious freedom, then we tell what's happened in the last couple of years, or the last 3 or 4 years, and then it ends with encouraging individuals to practice their religion in the public square. And the bill requires that it's sent to city councils, county councils. It's going to be spread out to everybody, so they can be reminded to know that a school can sing Silent Night. I get to one of my blessings of my work that I do a fair bit of travel. And I'll go to a school in Alabama, I'll go to a school district, and there's a beautiful Christmas tree, and underneath it there's a manger scene with baby Jesus and everything. Go to the one at Logan School District. They might have a Christmas tree, but there's no baby Jesus there. Right? We've got a toy soldier and a wagon, but there's no baby Jesus. I'll sit there, I'll be to a meeting, they'll look at me and say, Dr. Peterson, we're going to say a blessing on the food. Is that all right with you? I'll say, absolutely, yes. We would never think about doing a blessing on the food when I'm in the school district in Cass County. Never. And so this encourages folks to practice their religion in the public square. It isn't about Christianity, by the way. It doesn't mention any specific religion. It just says practice your religion. Because for me, this is a tough world, and our kids are having a rough time. And I think the easiest way, the best way we can help them is for them to know whose they are. So with that, thank you so much. And I don't think I told you who I am. I'm Mike Peterson. I'm in North Logan. I represent the North End of the state. A little bit of Logan, North Logan, Hyde Park, Smithfield, a little bit of Richmond and Cove, Lewis and Amalgam, Benson and Trenton. We're about 20 minutes out of Idaho. Yep, thank you.